Hi everyone, this is Aaron and I'm here today with Pastor Matt Powell. Pastor Matt, we received a question and this person wants to know, what do you do when someone judges you by your appearance? They flat out call you fat and have no pity in doing so. They say they are a Christian, but this has happened more than once. What can you do and what would you say in response?
Yeah, that's a tough question, and I want to be sensitive because what people say to us does hurt us. When people say sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me, that's just flat out wrong. We are really hurt by words and stuff. Words do cut deep, and they also heal and encourage. Let me offer a couple of thoughts. The first thought I would say is that this is exactly an issue that, let's say, the first century church had between Jews and Gentiles. The point of Ephesians is to show how both Jew and Gentile are one in Christ, and the dividing wall of apostate has been broken down according to Ephesians chapter 3. And I think obviously within that context, it's about God's covenant people and the people of God. But I think the application extends even towards trivial things such as appearance. The issue of someone's appearance is no different than the issue of racism. And so I think, number one, this person has to understand that everyone who is a Christian, we're united together by the blood of Christ, and therefore no dividing wall should cause us to stumble or to hate each other, just as Jews and Gentiles are called to be one because of their faith in Christ. And so I would say, if possible, to gently correct this person and to remind them of that truth. The other thing too, I think, in terms of your personal response is, I think you think back to what Christ went through in his life. In 1 Peter chapter 2, we're reminded that when we suffer, we're to look to Christ because Christ left us as an example. He was reviled. He was hated, and obviously for different reasons than just his appearance. But I think the principle remains there that while he was being reviled, he still entrusted himself to God. And for you, as an encouragement, if you're listening to this, during this time, you're to entrust yourself to God, knowing that ultimately your identity and your self-worth is not found in what people think of you, your appearance, or any of these things, what you wear, whatever it is, but your self-worth, your values, your identity is found in Christ. Christ, because he entrusted God, because he trusted him no matter what, he was able to go through being reviled and suffering. And again, what Christ went through is infinitely greater than what we go through on a daily basis. But nonetheless, the principle is there. We are to entrust ourselves to God, who allows these circumstances to happen to us, and to know that our worth or value is found in Christ. I think that's why Paul says in Galatians 2:20, I've been crucified with Christ. It's no longer I who live, but Christ who lives in me. He's appealing to his identity in Christ, that ultimately who he is and his values are based upon what Christ has done for him. At the end of the day, I think, just for a devotional thought, Christ died for you. And if Christ loves you enough to die for you, who cares if some little punk says something about you? You know that Christ died for you, and that's how much he loves you, and the King of Kings cares about you and loves you. I think that there's a quote that's often thrown out in terms of fitness. It's that a lion is not swayed by the opinion of sheep. And so in the same way, when we have Christ who's our advocate, who loves us, who cares about what other sheep say about us when you have the Lion of Judah interceding on our behalf of us? So that would be my response.
Thanks, Pastor Matt. To continue this conversation, how should a Christian respond when they see someone being bullied?
I think with regards to bullying, and that's a huge thing in our generation today, as Christians, we should make it a point to stand up against bullying in any circumstance. I think for sure Christians shouldn't be the ones who do the bullying, but Christians should make it a point to stand up against those who bully, whether it's for stupid reasons or even for really bad reasons. Christians should make it a choice to stand up. They're called to suffer for righteousness' sake, even if it means they get bullied as a result. So be it. Stand up against bullying, stand for Christ. That would be my response to that.
Thanks, Pastor Matt, and thank you everyone for listening. Feel free to submit your questions, and there's even the option to submit them anonymously, or check out our archive at unicoyquestions.tumblr.com. Thanks, see you soon.